Hello, we are A Cup of Tea, Iruka and Elena, and we're here to show you how to use the storytelling learning box that we have created.
Okay, so we have created this learning box out of need. We ourselves are teachers, and we went to look for material in CRPs, but we couldn't find enough storybooks or didactic material. So we decided to create it ourselves. We know that the needs that we have in the classroom are to teach speaking, listening, grammar, writing, and reading. But most schools are now getting rid of the textbooks, and teachers don't have enough time to create all of this material. So this is why we have created this box with material and storybooks. And what we need is have children just have fun in a classroom in order to learn a foreign language.
What can you find in this learning box? Once you have the story box with you, you're going to see that there are 7 different storybooks, some for year 1, 2, and 3 of primary education, and then 4, 5, and 6 also in key stage 2. As we have said, these are the storybooks that you're going to see in the box. We have chosen always the storybooks based on an intersectional gender perspective, and also choosing stories that are close to the daily life of our students. For example, this one, the storybook called Eat Your Peas, which talks about Daisy, a girl who doesn't like peas, and her mom makes everything possible so that she can finally eat her peas. Or, for example, this one called Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus, which is a very comic storybook between a dialogue, establishing a dialogue between the pigeon and the audience. So as you see, there's different range of topics to choose from. And also in year 4, 5, and 6, we follow the same criteria, choosing the storybooks, but also we have introduced longer books, for example, the one called Bad Guys or Twins, which can be read aloud by the teacher in class. And also, as we have said, the gender perspective is also a key point always when choosing one of these stories. For example, in the storybook My Friends and Me, we talked about different types of families, but the storybook focuses on what do they like doing together. Or the one called Proud as Blue, which talks about a girl who's wearing a hijab for the first time at school and tackles the bullying, which is always present in our schools. So in this storytelling box, you're going to see that we have also the flashcards, which are inside a different envelope for each story. These flashcards have been selected according to the vocabulary and chunks that are going to be needed in order to learn the story. And we have made them progressive, so they are in order according to the story that we picked up. The vocabulary list is also in the dossier that you're going to find also in the box. And most importantly, these flashcards are color coded, so you know what story do they belong to. They include real photos, so students can be better engaged when playing with them. And they always bear in mind the inclusive and gender perspective needed. We have also included the phonetic transcription in the flashcards. We're going to see this later in the slides. In here, as you can see, here you can have a look at how they are presented with the color code. And also the phonetic transcription is for the students to be able to read it, even though they are still not able to read English, because we know that English is an opaque language. So whatever is written is not what you say out loud. So sometimes students get frustrated when they cannot read what they see. So in this case, they can read straight away what they can say. And it helps a lot to be fluent in those chunks and vocabulary. And also this story box includes also how are you feeling flashcards and routines flashcards for your sessions. These flashcards are going to be used in what we call flashcard games, which are also included in your dossier, as you can see here. These flashcard games are have been chosen according to the different skills that the students are going to need, to be able to play this game. As you can see, according to the symbols, there are listening activities, which we always recommend that are the first one, so students can get used to the language. Speaking activities or speaking games, and also writing activities. Most importantly, these flashcard games have been chosen to be played in small groups, so that's something to take into account while having a look at them. And they can also be played outside in the playground. The final task is something we have developed according to every story. These final tasks are meant to be communicative and meaningful for the narrative of the story that we have chosen. And they also include this collaborative aspect of working in groups. As we say, so you're going to see this final task in the dossier, well explained, the different phases of how to use this final task. And you're going to see that you have a QR code be able to access the different prints, and also the flashcards that we just mentioned before. These final tasks are with different objectives and competencies in the English area, and also different knowledge that students need to acquire in order to develop them from the new curriculum. In the dossier, you're going to see also these final tasks, the annex, the print, the layout of the final task. And just to put an example, this is a story that we were talking before about, called Eat Your Peas. The final task would consist on creating their own version of the story and just drawing and then writing down and playing out in the class their version of the story with the different things that they don't like. You're going to see also at the end of the dossier different extra material that we have put together in order to make to enhance further learning with different lesson plans in ISL Collective, for instance, or YouTube Read Alouds that ourselves have created or that we have just found, and also different songs that can be also used to extend the learning. With this material, then we have, we're going to demonstrate now how could we put together a lesson.
Okay, so imagine that you just have 5 minutes prep time because you're in a rush and you just forgot to prepare your lesson for that day. So you choose a story, you pick up any from your box or one that you thought, oh, I might read that one next day. Okay, Fly, Tiger, Fly. You pick up the flashcards that will be in an envelope, and then you choose a game from the dossier. If it's the first day that you are reading this book, then you're gonna start with the listening activity, with the listening flashcard game. You will see the sign on the dossier, so it'll be easier to spot. And then once you are in the classroom, you're gonna start with routines. We always start with the hello song. Then we do the how are you feeling today, with this our like star moment for the class, because it lets us know how the students are feeling that day. They always like to express how they're feeling and to tell you some anecdote about the day. And because every day is the same, they develop the structures really quickly. Like they can start the first day saying, I'm happy perquè avui m'ha portat la mare a l'escola o perquè després vaig a veure els avis. Or they can say, I'm happy because mom m'ha portat to school. And then they can say, I'm happy because I'm going to see my grandparents. And throughout a year, they develop the skills real quick.
I'm feeling today happy, tired, excited, and hungry. Why? I'm feeling happy just because, excited because today I'm going to class, tired because I'm asleep very little, and hungry because no writing. How are you feeling today? You? I'm feeling happy, calm, and excited. Why? Happy just because, calm because the class is calm, and excited because today I go to the morning.
After the hello song and the how you feeling, we start with the flashcard game, which will be scaffolding the vocabulary that they will need to understand the story. And then we read a couple of pages from the story. Just a couple, because every day we're gonna start the story from the beginning. We're not gonna read it slowly. We always like start slowly, but then when we read it again, we read the first pages quickly, and then when we find the page where we stopped, we continue in a slow rhythm. And finally, this would be repeated maybe throughout, I don't know, 4, 5 sessions.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, we would introduce the final task. And they could work in groups, in pairs, individually if they need to. In this case, my dream is too, because the story talks about this tiger that has a dream to fly.
Mm-hmm.
So they could talk about their personal dream.
We have different scaffolding activities
for the final task. But we could always extend this prep time and to make it more adapted to our classroom by adding realia, by adding videos, by adding songs, by adding any extra material that we can find in the dossier. Or also we have at the beginning we have some ICT tools that you could adapt to your project, or that you could tell your students to use it for the final task. Most of them, we've tried them, we know they work. You don't have to be like researching for apps to create things like, for example, Canva, everybody knows, generally everybody knows, but maybe Wall or Quiz or Chatterpix to create
puppets to talk, make them talk, or your pictures, you can make them talk using this app.
Yeah, the stop motion studio. You have everything in the dossier.
If you have any questions, you can contact us.
Yeah, you can email us.
Email us.
We don't have the email here. Thank you very much, and we hope that you like our story box. We are going to have a formació that will help you create your own learning box, and we will tackle things like classroom management, storytelling, pronunciation, intonation.
Yeah, and the different phases of a didactic sequence also, in order to achieve a final task.
Yeah, so if you're keen, probably next year we'll have it ready for everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.